And there are over 17 states and union territories that have imposed lockdown or some kind of restrictions owing to COVID-19. Now, what has this meant on the economic front? Now, according to CMIE, this has meant that over 35 lakh people have lost their jobs in the month of April alone. How does this really impact? What will really be the future outcomes, and what can we hope to see in coming days? These are some very, very important questions, because remember, the lockdown 1.0 also had a direct economic impact. What really are we looking at this time round? Let's take this across to our guests who are joining us for more on this. We have with us Kailash Adhikari, Managing Director of Governance now. Aman Chugh, author and economist, is also with us on the broadcast. Kailash, let me come to you first. This is very, very disconcerting when you look at the kind of lakhs of jobs, over 35 lakh jobs, according to CMIE, that were lost just in the month of April. If you add the preceding months as well, it is not a very, very positive trend. But if you look at the fact that even the Ministry of Finance has in its recent report acknowledged that the second wave of COVID poses a downside risk to economic activity, will it be as much of an impact as we saw last time around? Have lessons been learned, and crucial ones at that, in terms of how really to impose a lockdown?
Yes, thank you so much. We all know, the disturbing effects that the lockdown has on the economy. Last year, when the national lockdown was imposed, we had seen a 24% contraction in our GDP in the first quarter, followed by 7.5% contraction in the second quarter. Things had started stabilizing from the third and the fourth quarter of the financial year. But unfortunately, our country is grappling a second wave of COVID-19. And the immediate answer to curb that wave, when vaccination is also going slow, is a lockdown. As you mentioned, rightly in the beginning, that more than 17 states and union territories are under a lockdown, and because of which your economic activity gets impacted. The three most areas of concern where it hurts the most for an economy is, first, your industrial activity weakening. Maharashtra was the first state to report high number of cases, and thus going into a partial and then into a full lockdown. We saw that it contributes about 14.5% of entire country's GDP. There were no procurement of raw materials. Manufacturing sector was at its lowest low. The IIP fell in February. Then in March, it was at its 7-month low. And now the consumer confidence also is low. When the consumer confidence is low, naturally the demand for non-essential products dwindles down. And that affects sectors such as realty, your other consumer durables, oil and gas, and other sectors as well. Entertainment is at its lowest low because no production is happening. Cinema are at its low. And the third, the most important point of concern as a result of the first two, is nothing but unemployment. Your small traders, your small unions, your micro units, MSMEs are not just allowed to function, because of which a large part of the informal jobs are lost.
Okay. Let me in fact take that question across to Aman Chugh as well. Aman, now very, very important aspect that we were talking about is that yes, there are huge industrial states that at the moment at least are not in a position to contribute. Manufacturing is certainly going to be hit in some way or the other. But is a national lockdown at all a solution? Because we're looking at different states and their positivity rates, their case rates, all coming down, going up at different paces. In that light, does the call for a national lockdown really hold water?
So namaskar hai and Jai Hind hai. I'll break this question into two parts. One, the COVID wave part 2, which is quite serious as against the COVID wave part 1. We all understand that top 10 states have been accounting for almost 75% of the cases as of now. And the challenge, the chaos is that almost all the states have the jump in cases almost 250% higher than what was there in wave 1. And few states like Gujarat has recorded 1,000% rise. UP, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, etc. have almost seen a 500% jump as well. So the states which imposed lockdown like UP, Maharashtra, Delhi, etc., they have seen the decline in the recent time. And I think the decline in the other states which are following the restricted lockdown will also come to be evident in the next 3 to 7 days. Now, point is, with restricted lockdown, 27% of the districts have seen the peak and the cases are coming down. While economy's GDP could see a temporary decline, so complete lockdown is definitely not a solution, but a restricted lockdown is definitely required, because see, recovery would be quite quick for us, because as my colleague was also mentioning, that we recorded a 24% of a negative growth in the Q1 and the 7.5% of a negative growth in Q2. So we were officially in recession. But during that time, during that point of time, the world economy was also in a standstill. Today, the world is progressing by. The US is, which is 25% of the consumption of the world, is also progressing by. So lockdown at local levels, point number one. Emergency use of maybe Russia Sputnik and now DRDO oral solution along with the vaccination spree should also help through. The fast track approval for the foreign vaccines is what we are all looking at, because as of now the vaccines which are available in India, they are limited in terms of to tackle the vaccination process. And fourth is that government concentration during lockdown should be on increasing the capital expenditure and implementing the structural reforms which are on the backseat. So if the government could concentrate on this fourth point as well, I think as soon as we are out of this lockdown, maybe a restricted lockdown, and we are able to curb this second wave, we'll be able to come up very quickly as against a bit of time which we took last time. So this time the recovery should be quite quicker.
Okay, that's some very constructive points over there that you've made. Certainly some of them have been discussed, but let me take also, in fact, to the question to Mr. Adhikari. In Kailash Adhikari, the larger question is that how long are we looking at? Here, we're talking about different models. Each person, of course, says a different thing. There are those who, in fact, talk about the middle of May as being the peak. There are some who say that perhaps that's a bit too early. It could take a few weeks longer. What, in your estimation, is the time period through which this current second wave we could be looking at? Because there are a lot of different models and all of them would have different sort of scenarios when it comes to the economy.
Yes, you very rightly mentioned that we don't know when the peak comes. And now, the fact is that this lockdown is different than the previous one, because that was a national lockdown. And here, each and every state is going under a partial or total lockdown, depending upon, we see the rise in cases. We saw first Maharashtra, then Kerala, then Maharashtra and Kerala went into a lockdown. Then we are now seeing a rise in West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh. So naturally, as a nation, your entire activity gets stifled if one by one your states get into a lockdown. As an answer to that, as many members of the government have also said that, ramping up vaccination. Now we will have enhanced capacity from both Bharat Biotech, Serum Institute, Sputnik 5 will come in. The government has relaxed rules for others vaccines also who have got the emergency approval as well as in the foreign nations. So now I believe that, that the second wave will be able to come out better, as my panelist, also co-panelist also suggested. What we are here to see is that we do not spread, this infection should not, the second wave should not spread into the rural areas, because that would take time. Your urban will see a decline, again your rural will see a rise. What is most important is that we have to ramp up vaccination in the coming 2 months, so that with the onset of the second quarter of this financial year, we see a spike in recovery, and that has to be a V-shaped recovery.
Absolutely. I think you touched upon a very important point there, and let me get Aman's view on that as well. Aman, really the rural economy is also very significant in India, because that really provides for the primary sector. A huge percentage of our workforce and population is directly engaged in the rural economy. In that light, the spread and the talk of the spread in the rural areas, how do we see that impacting? And of course, there is certainly a need to arrest the spread at the very earliest. But what really are you looking at when we are looking at this fresh spread that is being spoken about in rural areas, perhaps over the last fortnight or so that we've heard of?
So there are a couple of points on this. In fact, first important point is that even Nomura India Business Resumption Index, which went to almost a level of 40 levels from 1995 levels, which was in February 2020, and then we recorded almost a 42 or a 46 level during the complete lockdown last year. It recovered very well, and we were back to almost a 1995 level. This time, India Business Resumption Index could maybe fall to a level of 60 to 70 from the peak of 95, which we recorded in March recently. And I think we'll be very soon back to the 95 level, subject to the very active vaccinations, which we have been discussing. We could even avert a third wave, which is expected maybe say during a September and a mid of September, starting on maybe till November mid. And as we have seen the other economies, US, UK, Europe, etc., we could maybe learn that they also were almost 4 times the peak cases what they witnessed in the COVID wave 1. Similarly, India is also witnessing the 4 times the peak cases what we witnessed in COVID wave 1. So we could maybe see these cases maybe for the 1.5 2 months, which we started in April. So maybe we should peak out by May end expected. Our agriculture and allied rural sector should definitely see a robust growth with great monsoons coming in, no El Nino issues, expectation of acreage increase also in the summer crops. I think we are looking for a figure of almost 20% increase in the summer crops acreage. Also evident from the tractor sales. Also in the last 3 months, we have seen almost 100% of a growth in tractor sales as well. We have been also able to see some great performance on corporate earnings as well, clubbed with the agriculture and rural sector. So even the contraction in GDP, which was quite larger last year, we should see a lesser contraction this year. Yes, unemployment could be a challenge. We have a current unemployment figure on overall of Indian economy. If we look at maybe 7.9% as of now, and urban unemployment is at around 9.7%, we could see urban unemployment maybe touching a level of almost 11.5 in the next 1.5 months. And maybe a correction in PMI numbers maybe could come from 55 to 50 levels.
Okay. All right. Kailash Adhikari and Aman Chugh, I'd like to thank both of you for joining us with your very valuable insights. This is something that concerns every citizen. The health of the Indian economy, of course, makes an impact on all of our lives. And thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us your valuable perspectives on the same.